now we're still here at the place Maria Zambrano, and I just changed the lens from 28mm 2.8 prime lens to the 10 to 80mm super wide angle lens. We're in the same place. I just want to show you the different look that you can get depending on which lens you choose to use. I'm in the AV mode, so which means I choose the aperture. I choose, let's say, f13, ISO 100 to get the best, sharpest image quality, and the camera decides the rest. The camera decides the shutter speed. And so I'm getting some problems with the light and the shadows here on this side. You see there are many shadows on the wall and there are many bright sides on the ground. And this is actually a huge dynamic range. Dynamic range means the range between the brightest and the darkest parts in a picture. And cameras only have a limited dynamic range. The eye can see everything pretty well, but the camera can't. So you should be aware that if you have two dark parts in the pictures and two bright parts, the camera can only see one or the other. It's probably not going to handle both parts correct. So be aware of that, but we're going into that in another video separately where we talk about dynamic range and how we can work with it. Okay, so let's see. I'm getting a little bit out of the frame to get this tree. You know, I like shooting into this direction because there it's beautiful lit. Everything is nice. The colors are nice. I can see the sky. Okay, maybe let's take a look if I put this right here. I like this part as well, but actually there's too much shadow in the picture. We have too many bright and too many dark parts, so this is not going to work well. I just want to show you what I don't take pictures of. So when I see too much contrast, often the camera can't handle it well, and there high dynamic range comes into play. I take more pictures of the same scene on the tripod, and then I put the pictures together, and then I get all the dynamic range, all the highlights, all the shadows well. But that's not going to happen in this video. We're going to do a separate video for this. Okay, let's see. Now you can see when I say dynamic range, I take a picture of these flowers in the shadows, and you see the bright areas in the background. They will be blurred out. They will be totally white because it's too bright. It's too much dynamic range, and so we're going to talk about dynamic range in another video. Okay, let's move a little bit. Let's get deeper into the scene, or maybe to the other side. Maybe we can take a picture just like this. Maybe from here. Let's take a look. Get a little bit more. Okay, maybe from here. Now I get very much on the picture, but actually this scene is not perfect because the buildings are in shadows. So I try to focus more on this side where I have the sunlight, and I don't have to trouble with dynamic range and shadows, because the sun is so bright here that when I get shadows, it's hard to correct them. I always try to work with my surroundings, not against it. So I work with the light. And so let's see, go a little bit over here. Okay, I think that's it. So you can get very different results depending on which lens you use and depending on from where you take the picture. So always try to get as deep as possible into the scene so you get all angles, and maybe at the end you see an angle that's really working for you, and that's maybe the best shot is going to be the last shot. And you know, I just say experience, experiment. Experiment with the scene, experiment with your surroundings. Take a look at where's the sun. Take a look at where is the light going. The sun is pretty much up, but I know there's going to be more light than there. There are more shadows, there is more light. So I shoot into this direction. So I'm not going to shoot into the sun because the dynamic range is probably going to bring me some trouble. So that's it.